Hi everyone, I'm so happy to have Ronak again here with us and sharing his knowledge regarding mobile app development. Actually, Ronak and his brother have developed several mobile applications already, and they recently developed the real mobile applications that are going to be published on Apple and Google Store soon. So we are very excited to have those applications installed on our mobile phone. So, and today Ronak is going to share how to design homepage with buttons in your mobile application.
Hi, hi everyone. My name is Ronak, as Yulia said, and I've been a student at Kiddy Coders myself for quite a while now, and I've taken a course on mobile app development, and I'm just going to show you guys what I've learned today by making a very simple homepage using Android Visualizer.
By the way, Ronak, could you mention what application you are going to publish? What is that about?
Yeah, so very recently I developed an app that's a language translator app. So different
From what
phrases, numbers.
From what language, excuse me? What language translation?
Uh, I used French. Yeah, so
Oh,
I did a French to English language translator.
great.
Yeah, it
Do
was
you
great.
learn French yourself?
No, I don't actually. I just used everything through the computer, and I was able to
Oh,
create a.
okay. Yeah, this is very exciting. And what
Yeah.
about your brother? What application he is publishing?
Oh yeah, he also made a language translator app along with me, but he made it. I think he made one out of for Korean,
Oh, I see.
or
That
maybe it was
is
Japanese.
interesting.
I don't even know.
So I hope your application will be very successful and a lot of people will using it. So wish you good luck with that.
Thank you. Um, and with that, can I begin?
Yes, you please share your screen and let's start from homepage. How to design a homepage with button. And if you also mention about general requirements, how they can, what programs they need, for example, to start mobile app development. And in your opinion, is it difficult to start learning it yourself, or it's better to have a teacher and a leader who could guide you?
Okay, cool. So I'll share my screen now, and we'll dive into everything that Yulia just said. So let's start with the basics, right? How does coding actually work? Well, let's say you have a phone, right? And then there's us. So we want the phone to do something, any action. We want the phone to show us something, to play a sound. We need to tell the phone to do that. But we can't tell the phone to do it in English because phones aren't human, right? People speak English, humans speak English. Phones have a different language. They have their own language, and that's called coding. Now, phones can't learn English because phones aren't really that smart, right? They're just machines. Humans built phones. We're the smart ones, right? We can learn coding languages. We can learn the language that phones and computers speak, but phones can't learn English. So once we learn coding, we can write the code down and we can send that to the phone or the computer or whatever machine. And that way, if we want the phone to show us a smiley face, we can tell the phone to show us a smiley face using coding. And that's basically how coding works. Now there's a lot of different applications and a lot of different languages that phones know, coding languages. But of course, it takes years and years to master any one of those languages. If you guys take a language in school, for example, like Spanish or French, it's very difficult to learn at first, right? It takes years and years to become good at speaking a language. And the same goes for coding. It takes a long time and a lot of practice. But if you see in your schools, the way they start is always through the basics. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. Let's start with some of the basics. Now, this code is called, this program is called Android Visualizer. It's a very simple visualizer that is not actually a coding program because you can't transfer this to your phone, right? This is just sort of to show how to code, but you can't actually code on a phone. But if you see, this is a display here, and this display will show you everything that a real phone would do if we used an actual coding software. There's lots of different coding softwares like Yulia mentioned before. There's different softwares for Android phones or iPhones. So today we're going to learn how to put on code for Android phones. So if that's all good with you guys, I hope everyone's doing good, everyone's ready to go. And without further ado, we will be starting. So, what's the first step? We're going to be using a language called XML. Let me just give you a little bit of breakdown before I begin. XML is a very basic coding language that we use to put images and text. We can't actually put any design elements, right? There's lots of different languages to do that. But XML, which is the language that I'm going to be teaching you today, is mostly just for putting the content. So text, images, things like that. So those are done through XML, and we're going to start doing that very soon. Okay, let's begin. So this is what our final product will look like at the end, right? And I'm just going to walk you through how we do this exactly. We're going to put a picture and we're going to put a text, and we can put whatever the text says. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that right now. Here we go. So first steps, I'm going to just take all this out just to explain to you guys how this works. So we're going to be using something called linear layout. There's different types of layouts, right? Linear layout is the most basic type of layout. We also have relative layout. Linear layout basically means that everything is going to be in a straight line and it's going to be very simple looking. And that's good. You know, as I said before, we're starting with the basics. So I'm sorry about the technical glitches earlier, but now we can finally get started. So linear layout. Let's just set the layout width. We can put that as match parent. Match parent basically means that it will be the same as the entire phone screen. So basically it'll fit the screen. So we need to do the width and the height. We can set that to match parent as well. And then padding. Padding is just the spacing on the left and right. So again, like I said before, this is basically everything for the content. So we want to have a little bit of space. We don't want it to reach all the way. We can put a little bit of padding. And DP, 16 DP is the padding that I'm choosing. That's just like the units. So it's not super important. Don't worry about really what I'm writing. Just know that I'm sort of setting up the layout for the entire code right now. Yeah, the coding languages will take a little bit of time to understand, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So I'm just going to do the padding from the top as well. And we'll just keep it all 16 dp. And this is going to like basically center our entire code. Keep that at 16 dp. Also, I hope everyone is understanding. Everyone's having a good time. I know it may seem a little bit complicated at first. What is he doing? This is all very, very simple code. I'm just setting up the layout. So right now our phone is in linear layout. And you'll understand exactly what I'm doing in time. Hold on, sorry about that. I'm just gonna close, because everything we open in code, we have to close it. So I'm just gonna close our linear layout. There we go. Now let's put an image in, right? Image view. There's different views when you're creating an app. And to put an image, it's called image view. To put text, it's called text view. So let's put in an image view. Android src. Don't worry about what that means. It's just the code to put in an image. And since this is not an official coding program, we can look here and we can choose any image from here. So let's say we want to put a fish. Or no, let's put in the mountains. We just go at drawable. That basically acts as the folder / mount. And then we can customize the image. Let's see if everything we did was right. We can actually just copy and paste this to make sure that everything is fine, to make sure everything is accurate. And paste that there. Boom. Android layout. Now let's set the layout for the image. So we have an image of mountains on our phone. You won't be able to see it until the very end, but once you do, you'll see the end result. Match parent. Layout. Height. We'll keep it. Again, it's okay. The code right now, we're just trying to understand the big picture. It's not a big deal if you don't really understand what exactly I'm doing. Right now, I'm basically designing the image a little bit, as limited as I can on XML. I can sort of do a little bit of basic image design. Okay. And then let's set another margin. Margin and padding are basically the same thing. It's just space inside. So I just put in a margin, you can see. Again, I'm going to keep saying it. If you're not understanding every single line of code, that's okay. That's okay. We'll get there. Coding is a pretty complicated language sometimes, but we got to start somewhere. I'm just trying to show you right now what we can really do, even with the most basic of code. Scroll down. So now I'm putting in text. This is the text view. So what do we want our text to say? We can say, hello, everyone. Let's just say hi. And then Android, and then we can create the layout for the text also. And we are going to wrap content. Okay. And then that basically means that the height and width of the text will sort of be contained to the text only, right? It won't be huge to fit the entire phone screen. That's basically all it means. It won't be super big. Generally for text, it's good to do wrap content. Now let's do the text size. Equals 40 SP. And then we can choose a font family. Right, so sans serif is just a font. You can find that font on Google Docs or Microsoft Word. Any typing application that has different fonts, you can find sans serif. Text. Now let's put in a text color. what color do we want to put? Well, let's see. There's an application, or not really an application, just a program called Color Picker, and you can just search it on Google. And here you can find any color in the world. Any color that you can see, it's in this picker, and all of them have a hex code. So it's just the code for the color. So I like the color green. So let's go with like a nice. And then we can just copy this code, right? This is the code that tells the computer what color you want to put in. We can just put that exact color into our code here. And then let's set a background color. Let's use a different color for that, but it's the same process. Let's use a nice blue. Copy the code. Paste it. And then Android, let's put in a little bit of padding. And we can close text view. So that's basically our entire code. Looks like I have an error somewhere. You know, sometimes this happens. I'm just going to save this. I'm going to reload the page, see what happens. Oh, looks like when I redid our code, I made an error somewhere. Let me just find the error. Sometimes this happens. You know, this is really what coding is all about. You find little errors and then you fix them. Here, there actually shouldn't be all these spaces. Maybe that's what it is. See if that fixes things. Oh, well, would you look at that? Problem mountains, match parent. Let's keep going. Let's see if we can find any errors. It looks like the image isn't loading in. That's all right. That's okay, guys. Let's see if we can find my error. Maybe it's because I didn't close this. Nope. Because I closed the linear layout here, I didn't have to close it again. I probably just made a spelling mistake somewhere. Height. Content. And so this is really, if you guys wanted to get into coding, this is what coding is really all about. So we have the text loaded, but it looks a little strange. I'm not sure why that happened. Text size 40 SP. Oh, here. There we go. See, look at that. Just a simple little error like that. I accidentally put in an extra 0 into our text view, and it changed the whole screen. So basically the padding, right, like I said before, is the space on left and right. I meant to put it as 20 dp, but since I put it at 200, it squeezed everything out of the way to make space. But there we go. That's our first application done. It's very simple, but again, start with the basics to get a good understanding. We can change the colors. I don't really like these colors. The green is not dark enough. Let's pick a nice dark green for hello everyone. There we go. Now we can see it better. And there we go. I'm sorry that looked a little strange there for a second, but we figured out the error. And you know, that's really what coding is all about, is finding little errors and making sure that everything looks right. And so this is pretty much as simple a code, a mobile app development code as you can get. And yet we made a silly mistake and the whole thing looked messed up. But that being said, when you do find that error, It's really satisfying, and it's super fun, really, to find every piece of the puzzle and make sure that everything is right, and to make a beautiful product, because there's no telling, there's no stopping your imagination once you learn the coding language. You can do anything on code. This is just XML. This is just one language. But we can do design, we can put in content. Look at these mountains. Look at this welcome, hello everyone, welcome page that we created. Right? This is how real phones work. This is how real people develop code. And that's what I found. You know, I haven't been doing coding for that long of a time, but that's what I found so cool, is that we're doing exactly what real mobile app developers do. So we can play all our favorite games: Subway Surfers, Candy Crush, every game you find on the App Store or the Play Store. You know, this is the basic principles that they use. Now they know a lot more languages than you and I do, but this is the basics. Um, but yeah, that's really interesting. And if you want, we can play around with this a little bit more. So right now our padding, our margin at the bottom is 8 dp, right? I told you the margin is the space. Let's see what happens if I increase the margins. Look at that. To make a big difference, you have to increase it quite a bit. But if you look, the margin from the text to the image at the bottom is changing, right? So you have to look right now between the image and the text. So it's at 20 dp right now. If I move it to 200, look, there's a big space. If I move it to 2000, the image goes out of the way completely. But yeah, that's basically what it does. Let's keep it at a small margin. It looks better that way, I think. The Android orientation is vertical. Let's see what happens if I make it horizontal. The image is vertical, so the image goes away. This is exactly what I'm saying. You know, all these things, they matter. Every line of code matters, and we got to make sure that everything is right. But once we do make it right, we can get a good final product like this. Does that make sense to everyone? I hope everyone understood and is having a great time. I know we had a few hiccups here and there, but that's really what coding is about. It's about those hiccups. And that's basically all I had to share with you today. This is a very simple code. There's more different programs to learn and officially create apps on like the Android store. It's called Android Studio, for example. That's what I'm learning on right now. Android Visualizer is a very basic sort of learning tool for Android Studio, but Android Studio is what real mobile app developers use. And that's very complicated. Even I don't even know what some of the stuff on Android Studio does yet. It's very complex and very advanced coding. That's why I didn't start with Android Studio today, but I started with the Android Visualizer. Hopefully it's a little bit simpler. It gives you guys a better understanding of how coding works. And I know, like I said before, if you don't understand every line of coding, that's okay. We're just getting started. But you know, that's just how coding is. You start with the basics. You learn every line of code one by one. Basically, you keep practicing and practicing until you start memorizing different lines of codes, and then it comes onto the tip of your fingertips. That's how it was for me, and I'm sure that's how it'll be for all of you. It takes a lot of practice, like any language, but you know, coding is a very worthwhile language to learn, and it's very useful for in life. You know, a lot of different jobs in the future will require coding, so it's a good skill to have. A good skill to have. That's why I picked it up, because I know that coding will be really important to me and help me out a lot in school, in the future, you know, wherever. But yeah, that's been it for me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for attending. I hope everyone got all their questions answered. I hope everyone understood what I was doing. And even if you didn't understand every single thing, I hope you understood the big picture and understood really what coding is about. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.